New at 4:30, a Mint Hill man who pleaded guilty to his involvement in January 6th is possibly facing other charges. Court documents show David Daniel is facing child pornography charges, but it's how investigators found evidence of child porn that could pose the legal question. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now to talk about it. And Chief Khalif, investigators found porn on Daniel's phone, and that's part of the January 6th investigation. Could that be ruled inadmissible as part of the pardons here?
I think that would open up the door. If I'm representing him, if I'm his defense attorney, that's exactly what I'm saying. And you got to look at the time frame. This happened January 21. They did a search warrant in 2023. He wasn't pled out or convicted until this year, 2025, January 8th. And so that was a long time. But all of this stems, and it was the root cause of the January 6th. And so if he received the pardon on January 20th and the pardon was a full blanket unconditional pardon, but for what happened on January 6th, you would have never been at my house searching for the firearms or searching for anything, and then you would have never saw this child pornography. Yes, I would make that argument. Do I like, as an everyday citizen, how you get there? I don't. But as a criminal defense attorney, if it's fruit of the poisonous tree, if you would have never been able to touch this had you not got to this investigation for the January 6th situation, we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be looking at my phone. There would be no search warrant. No judge would have authorized you to get access to my phone, and I would have never consented. However you got access to the phone would never have happened had the January 6th event never occurred.
So walk us through the blanket pardon that we're given by President Trump. What all does that cover?
It covers everything. It covers any incident, like in his situation.
Yes.
They're saying if you look at the indictment, it was in the statement of facts, it was that he led the charge. He wasn't just there. They alleged this individual was one of the worst individuals there, that he was not just in the background moseying around, but led the forefront, the folks going after officers, that led the forefront to trying to break through doors and barricades. And so if that is the case, this blanket pardon removes that from ever occurring. His case is very similar to a case in Florida. Same type of facts. They're saying that guy was one of the worst and one of the most violent. He threw detonating devices at officers during this time. His case was the same. Got the pardon, but also had some gun charges. Well, when they searched his residence because of the January 6th investigation, they found the firearms. But for this January 6th, they would have never found the firearms. So his attorney is making the same argument. His attorney saying that if January 6th pardons, there would have never been a warrant. You would have never been in his house. My client's case should be dismissed. It's still pending, but I think if you follow the logical step, which is there would not have been an investigation if there was no January 6th. With this blanket pardon, there was no January 6th in the eyes of the court. In terms of any case that the president has pardoned, as if it never occurred. And so if it never occurred, I would make the logical argument that there was never anything that happened based on a warrant. We'll see if a judge buys that, but what I can tell you is it seems like that would make logical sense, and I'm watching to see what happens.
Yeah, because it'll affect a lot of other cases as well, even though this one was one of the more, I guess, violent offenders, according to the court.
More violent offender, more egregious, and the more, nastier type of case happening after that. And so, yes, this is one that I'll be watching for sure.
All right, and so we're here at Queen City News. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks.